coordinating this. I has to coordinate.
Yes, okay.
So, thank you so much. My name is Archie Bourne, and I report for the Liberia News. I'm a bit concerned about the protein visit to China. She did mention that the Chinese government have approved the renovation of the Capitol building. This information has sparked outreach in the public concerning this information that the House, the legislature, already planned to budget money for the renovation of the Capitol building. And the aid of the Chinese government now seems to be like people are saying that why is it that the president couldn't direct or ask for the renovation for the public universities, hospitals, and other things because the Capitol building have already been captured in the budget for renovation.
So if the Capitol building is captured in the budget for renovation and we have a grant to do it, what does that mean? That means that we are saving money. We're saving money, and that money can be redirected to other institutions, like you were saying. It can be redirected to hospitals, to schools. So you journalists now have to say, well, how will we redirect the money that is already in the budget? Because what I'm doing is to make sure that we save some money for other important sectors. I visited to China on the global leaders meeting for women, and this meeting was held and headed by the Chinese President Xi Jinping, where world leaders gather and different organizations, UN Women. This conference was honored United Nations. The UN Women and different groups were there. And I had the opportunity to speak to the standing committee chair of the China legislature, and I made a request, and we're glad that the request was accepted. The request to renovate the old Capitol building, to repair the joint chamber that was burned, and to do exchange programs for legislative staff and legislators to build a stronger path. It was accepted this morning. I met with the Chargé Affairs from the Chinese Embassy. That process has started. In my message on Tuesday, we've asked our Foreign Affairs Committee to work with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to send all the relevant communications needed to follow up so that process can kick off. I think what I did was just to make sure that we save some money for our country. And I don't know if we have not passed the budget, but it was there as a budget item. But having that kind of amount as a budget item and having the funding available is another thing. So the fact that we have already secured that is a boost for us and a help for the country.
Money is Yamti Toba report for OKFM. Well, Honorable Pro Tem, just at the start of this session, majority of your colleagues were given minutes to talk about what they encountered during the course of their vacation, and the Senate Committee Chairperson on Public Works did announce to that body, for which we have been covering that during the previous session. Some of the colleagues have been concerned about the Elton and Iboma deal, and he said that deal, there are conversations around it, especially with this current administration. And turns back, you make a pronouncement for the deal to be cancelled. How far is this arrangement? Is it that the deal wasn't cancelled? Is it back on the table because that was the pronouncement he made in the Senate chamber?
Well, as the President Pro Tem of the Senate, I have not been informed about any engagement with Elton, Eaton, and Iboma. I think, as you rightly said, I championed the cancellation because it was an agreement that was rectified, and it just sat there for so long. When you rectify these agreements, the government is obligated to ensuring that it's executed, and no agreement, as long as it's rectified, the company or the institution still has the responsibility to do whatever was stated in those agreements. And that's why I pushed for the cancellation, so government could not have that kind of obligation. But now that it was not canceled, we need to look at what that entails and what government needs to do concerning that. But as it is, nothing has reached me concerning our engagement with Eton.
So just to do a follow-up, are you saying that officially the Liberia have been notified any addition you have
officially, we do not know the Liberia has not been notified about any engagement concerning Eton improvement. When we are notified, it's right on the floor. Yeah, any information that comes to or anything that we need to do regarding concessions, agreements, and all of that, we know it's right on the Senate floor.
And then finally, what is the status of, I'm going to take you out of the capital a bit. What is the status of the Liberty Party?
You turn from all the other ones you're talking to the Liberty Party. Well, Liberty Party is in very good standing and we are happy. We all know about the Liberty Party crisis. We came back together as a political institution. I think it's the only political party that has was divided, split into confusion, and all of us were able to come back together. The party chairman resigned. He has his own party now. The Liberty Party has a very beautiful and spacious party headquarters. We had our party convention. We have new leaders. We have our plans that we are working with. The party is an instant. Next 3 months, it's not a social media plan. It's not a plan to bring people out in the streets. It's a plan to be that is more constructive. We are reconstructing. We are restructuring, and we are doing a lot of work. And at the end of the day, you will see the results from Liberty Party. But we are doing a lot in our different counties and communities.
Okay. Okay. Good morning, Prote. I'm Obadiah Johnson. I work for Front Page Africa newspaper. 2 concerns. The first has to do with the incomplete executive mansion. The incomplete executive mansion, it appears like a milking cow where millions of taxpayers' money have been allocated towards its renovation, or yet still Liberians are yet to see its full completion. Yesterday, the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs designate was here. He spoke about plans to renovate that. What do you make of mounting costs for an audit to be conducted before any money is allocated towards the mansion rehabilitation?
Well, I'm disappointed that we're still talking about the renovation of the executive mansion because I became a senator in 2013. And when I became a senator, before I became a senator, or whatever time we can verify that. I think in the budget there was anything around 10 to 11 million annually for the renovation of the executive mansion. And there were times that we asked for audit. There were times that we asked for a physical visit to the executive mansion, and we're not given the rights to do that. I went into the mansion when President Walker became president, and I was disappointed that all that kind of funding are going into the renovation of the mansion, and there's nothing done there. I don't think there are even 2 floors completed, so it's very disappointing. I think there should be an audit into the funds that were given for the renovation of the executive mansion, whatever company was used, the entity that was in charge, and so something can be established for that kind of loss, because I think it was a loss to put so much into the executive mansion, and we're still talking about renovation.
Finally, from my end, what's your political future? There are plans that you are contemplating on contesting for the presidency come 2029. How true is this?
Well, my political future right now is to ensure that the government does well. And besides me being the pro tem, I was the campaign manager for the president, and I was the rescue mother. We opted for change, and we have to do everything to make sure that we impact the lives. There are changes that will be recognized, and we see that today. We see what's happening with roads, we see what's happening with electricity, we see improvements even in the health sector, educational sector. We are doing a lot. We intend to do more because we know that it's been just 2 or 3 years, but we are on the right track. And my aim and goal right now is to make sure that this government succeeds. If the government succeeds, Liberians will decide the next course of action for 2029 and the future that any political party has.
Yeah, Madam President, good morning. I'm Courage from Truth FM. I'm concerned about a recent witness a huge celebration, especially for Grand Bassa County, when they saw the arrival of electrical pole in the county. When do we expect to see actual work starting now to build led by the people in terms of electricity?
Well, the European Union committed over $40-something million to electrifying Buchanan City, Barclayville, and I think 2 other cities. That program was launched a few months ago, and they started the progress. It's progressive. We've been following up on that. Poles are going in, transformers are going in, poles are being planted. We've been very aggressive with our oversight on that. And I occasionally or more often engage them about progress. So I'm tracking what they're doing. And hopefully they're going to meet their deadline of 2026. They have made a commitment that before the end of 2026, those areas that are under that funding from the European Union will be electrified. And I think they're doing well. So.
What is SPOON?
Yeah, I'm Nelson Colette from SPOON. Protein, I have two concerns. The first one is you mentioned the engagements you've had with the Chinese government with regards to the renovation of the joint chambers. I'd like to know, where are we with those conversations? I know you just went to China, you just returned. There was an engagement quite recently with the ambassador, I understand. But what are you getting from them? How soon are we expected
So the engagement with for the construction or my request was not with the to the Chinese ambassador. It was to the chair of the standing committee of the Chinese legislature. He's the 3rd highest leader in the country. So we made that request. He requested the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs for China to ensure that our request was added to the projects that are done here, especially the overpass bridge that was mentioned, and it was in the presence of the ambassador. And he didn't just stop there, but I instructed CEDA is the Chinese development agency, is like the NUC. So it was captured. And today I met with the Chinese Chargé Affairs because the ambassador is not here. So that instruction has also been passed down to them. So we started a conversation, and I've asked the chairperson on Foreign Affairs, Senator Darius Dano, to liaise with the Minister of Foreign Affairs so that communication can be formalized as we are prepared to do that. I've also informed the speaker about that. I will do a formal communication to the House. So as a process or project that should be done jointly, so we can have a joint team to engage and follow through with to have that.
Okay, so
Follow on.
yeah, so the engagement has not been finalized, but it's expected to form part
It was
of.
approved. It was approved in China that the renovation of our old building and the repair of the joint chamber will be done by the Chinese government.
Did they give you a time frame?
Well, you have to start a process. They can't tell you say next month. So the most important thing is the approval that it will be done, and the process now is about to start foreign affairs.
My final concern, what do you make of the fight against corruption by this administration? And my question is coming from the backdrop of the fact that there was an...
Have done well. The government and the legislature, we are doing well when it comes to the fight of the Senate. I can speak for the fight of corruption. Because to fight corruption, you have to first make sure that you as an institution is accountable and transparent. So when I took over as the president pro tempore, the first thing I did through my reform is to make sure that GAC come here to do a system audit. Because if we want to request audit, if we want to fight corruption, we have to be accountable. I know all of you here have been following the report on our reform. Our system audit was done. There was a list of items or issues that needed to be addressed to put the right system, the right structure in place to prepare us for audit. Because of that, we hired the financial consultant who came and has been working with our financial department, all of the relevant departments that are needed to put the right system in place. And we have been presenting our reports. We have all of the policy documents developed. That has been a problem before that we couldn't have on the table. We have the IT consultant has been working for transparency and accountability. We have the biometric system. Now you have employees signing in to the biometric system, so nobody going to stay home for days and not report to work, and they don't know if they're earning fairly for what to do. So we're doing that. We have Wi-Fi, we have internet to be able to support some of the work that we do through technology. So that is good. Also, the legislature, for a very long time, the GSC complained about having funding to do audits. And this legislature, under our leadership and under this government, has approved funding for GSC to do several audits. That's why you see all these audit reports coming up. So if you don't want to fight corruption, you're not going to support GSC the way it's being supported. I think the president himself allowed an audit in the executive. So all of those things are support to what we want to see in the fight of corruption. And when these issues come before us from Senator Boto Kane, we will use our oversight responsibility to make sure that the right thing is done. If anybody is being accused of corruption, I think the action being taken, they should not be in those counties operating, because then it's not the right thing to do. They're not credible enough to take the lead in those kind of positions. So it's before the Senate. We will make our decisions and make recommendations to the president, because we can only recommend to the executive. And then with all of your advocacies and what you do with the media, we push the president to act.
0 to 10, what's your rating of this government when it comes to the fight against corruption?
I think I can say 6.
Okay.
6 when it comes to the institutional strengthening and preparing us for corruption, some of the actions that we're taking.
We take 5 more questions, so we'll start from here.
Thank you, Madam Protem. Just to begin with the issue of transparency, I'm Michael Bayer, and I work for Sky FM. There's this report from LCC talking about senators only declare their assets. As that report reached your office, ABS, what are you doing to make sure that all of the senators comply to asset declaration?
Only 7 senators declare assets?
Yeah, per the report released Tuesday from LCC.
Well, I have to review that, because the last report that came to us, I think there was 6. Are you sure that maybe 7 senators left to declare their asset? Or
7 senators declare their assets from the House of Senate and 4 from the House of Representatives.
No, I think we should review that, because my last report showed that I think 7 or 6. That was an example to be as a leader. So we'll review that report, but I don't think we have only 7 senators who have declared their assets.
So
in fact, we asked the LCC to set up a team here at the Senate, and they were right in this conference room for a few days to help senators to go through the process of declaring their assets. So I will review that report today and verify that.
So only the aspect
but whatever the case is, we'll reiterate the importance of senators declaring their assets today again, and we'll follow up to make sure that we complete that 100%.
So on the angle of Liberty Party, many believe that in Liberty Party now, if you are naming a political party in Liberia, we don't name Liberty Party because you guys are in there with the ruling Liberty Party. What I need to say to those people and be to that question. There is this discussion of political party owning plans for Liberty Party to also dash in the same path of constructing their own headquarters.
Liberty Party is still the 3rd largest opposition party, now the 2nd largest opposition party, and the 3rd largest party in this country. You see the independence. If we were in bed with any political party, you will not see that we have our own structure. You will not see a political leader. You will not see the party chair. We have a structure. We have structures that we are building all over the country. Liberty Party is very strategic. If you follow, we have managed campaigns, and we have used our strategies to defeat opposition. I was a campaign manager for the Rescue Mission, the political leader of Liberty Party. My strategies and support helped President Bouaka to win these elections. So we came in a collaboration, because our collaboration made it easier for us to defeat the ruling party, which we wanted to do, and that happened. If you've been following from after the collaboration, after President Bouaka's inauguration, our party came back together. We have had the convention. We've been having all these different events. We had the party anniversary. We have the biggest women program, if you follow. So do not overlook Liberty Party. Liberty Party is even bigger than it was 5 years ago, I can tell you that. But we are strategic, we're working with a plan. Our strategy is not to run around. Our strategy is not to be on Facebook. Our strategy is to work internally to put in the right structure, put in the right system, and make sure that people feel a part of the party. And it's also to institutionalize. So people support their party, people know that they are part of the party, and the party is not Youngly. The party is not Rookie Barry. The party is not just Darius Taylor, but the party is the people. Where headquarter construction is not a requirement for political parties. Political parties globally all over, people rent, people lease. The fact that people are constructing headquarters doesn't mean that all the political parties should do that, but it's important to have their own headquarters, but let it not be a requirement. And the latest talk in time, I think the biggest thing is to make sure that we have the right structure and system, and we're working well as a party. When the time comes for us to construct, we do that. But for many, many years, political parties have rented and leased building here, which is not against any standard. So I don't think we should be tied to why we're not building a headquarters.
Kiki, then we take LPS and take the last.
Yeah, great work, Senator Pro Tem, and government to succeed is essential, but there are several of Monrovia of alleged minors, specifically east, that is on the Rabofi Highway. Been mining for years, people are crying out, nobody to their rescue. Months ago, River says, specifically Soro Village, Mountain, been there for months, even damaging the roads. There are a lot of places they are open. I have photos, videos of that. And it's also an allegation against some senators and representatives receiving stipend from Beer Mountain every month. We want the government to succeed. What are the plans in terms of taking away those illegal miners from Bensonville and Riverset, specifically the East Company that is constructing our roads?
Well, I can speak to the allegations about lawmaker taking compensation, because I don't know about that. I don't know if it's anything that is true. But the legislature has oversight rules, and this is what we've decided to do in the Senate. In fact, I had a conversation with the president that all of these companies that have mining licenses, the government should review those mining licenses, because those licenses have been given for a long period. If we don't meet the standard of today, we will continue to have these problems. We're having the same problem today in Grand Bassa County. We have our tailings, and the license were given out to 2 different companies over a period of almost 12 to 15 years. Today, that mining has not gone on, because people come and take mining licenses and they keep it to wait for the opportunity to sell it or to flip it for a bigger price. So we have to put in the right wordings, we have to put in timelines, we have to make sure that the agreements are structured in a way that the government will benefit and our people will benefit, and will not have the kind of issues we're having. To be more robust with that, the Senate will be having a retreat soon, and our retreat is more about the mining sector, the extractive industry. What do we need to do to reform that industry, to make sure that these agreements are reviewed and restructured, so these occurrences like what you are listing don't happen. So after that retreat, we'll come up with a plan, and we hope that we all can follow that plan and see the difference that we'll make as a Senate when it comes to our oversight with the mining or the extractive industry.
Are you also going to work with Lansing Mines, because recent time they went on the side, they accept small thing, even videos
And I don't
and
respond in
pictures.
Benaya when you don't have proof.
No, even videos and pictures were sent to them.
Yeah,
How did-
so we'll follow up, and that's the rule that we have. And then I just explained to you what we are planning to do. So we cannot do that with what Lens and Minds, because Lens and Minds is a ministry that is executed, or that these mineral concessions fall under. So they have to be the one to deal with if we want to perform this.
Okay, we'll take two more questions. We'll take you, we'll take him. Okay, Madam Senator Pro Tem. My name is Bishop Moin, and I report for 45 City TV. There have been a loud outcry from most of your colleagues on the issue of concessions. And concessions agreement are about to come to the table of the House of Senate. What the Liberians hope to hear when these concessions are reintroduced on the table of the House of Senate?
Well, the concession agreements were passed years ago, and we're happy that we're getting the outcries from our colleagues. That means that we are all now concerned about reviewing the concession agreements and putting in the right provisions that will benefit the country. That's why I said we're having a special retreat on that. So we are educated to, I'm not a geologist, some of the senators or lawmakers are not technicians. So it's important to bring in consultants to have these conversations. So when the concessions are before us, we know the decisions that we need to make. So it meets today's reality and standard, so the government benefits. So the attention now has been drawn to how to improve these agreements, and we all have agreed to do that. And the outcry is just evidence, is some evidence that we want to do it better. So follow us on the concession agreements that have come before us, and I can show you that we do our best to make sure that we structure properly this time for the country to benefit.
Finally, we take.
Good morning, Madam President. I'm Yaga Quaita, and I report for the Heritage newspaper.
This is next time, Grandma Kelly.
So, Madam President, I have a few concerns. The first is President Bouaka rose to the power on the promises of zero tolerance for corruption and to end culture of impunity in Liberia. As a mother, what do you make of the case involving the 14-year-old girl that was allegedly raped by former deputy by sliding back to the same culture of impunity that past administration was accused for?
Well, we're talking about culture of impunity. I just spoke about what we are doing to fight corruption. You have to strengthen systems. I just named what we've done as a government to show that we are interested or that we want to fight corruption. What we've done in the Senate was explained. What President Bouaka has done was explained. Our support to GAC, our support to LACC. That shows that this government is ready to fight corruption. Those things were just named. So